Welcome to another episode of Sips and Screams, where twin sister horror movie fanatics sip themed cocktails and discuss our favorites in the genre. Today, we are going back to 2014 to discuss Creep. This one was written by Patrick Bryce and Mark Duplass and directed by Patrick Bryce. And guess what? It stars both of them. This movie is a slow and yet relatively quick burn. It's clocking in at a mere 1 hour and 17 minutes, and is, I have to say, one of the most disturbing found footage horror movies. It has nature. It has a lake. It has a secluded cabin. It also has an axe and the birth of a new horror villain with a killer mask. This movie is not to be confused with the Radiohead song, everybody. But yes, he is a creep. He is a weirdo. I'm Ashley, and joining me today, as always, is my twin sister, Allie. Allie, how you doing? You ready to creep out?
I'm ready to creep out with you. You know, I mean, there's no one, Ash, I'd rather creep out with than my twin sister.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Al.
I'm looking forward to this one. Yeah, it's like you said, quick burn, but man, a lot happens.
A lot happens. It is nonstop action, nonstop plot in this one. It's great. As always, you can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Our handle is at Sips and Screams Pod. And you can also email us. Feel free. sipsandscreams.podcast@gmail.com. And we are everywhere where you get your podcasts. And if you do listen, we would love it if you could leave us a rating and or a review. Okay. What time is it, Allie? It's time.
Yeah, it is killer cocktail time.
That's right. What is it today? This one's creative? Is it creative? I don't know.
I'm going to say it is. It's creative. We are honoring the mask, the new villain in this movie. We're honoring Peach Fuzz. Tonight. Yeah.
What a name.
Mr. Peach Fuzz himself. Yeah.
Peach Fuzz, everybody.
Yeah. So we're actually... We're having a cocktail, and I'm going to call it Peach Fuzz, Ash. This is a Peach Fuzz cocktail tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's in it? What are we doing?
All right. In this cocktail, we have a shot of vodka. You know, choose whichever one you like. Peach iced tea. So again, you know, that's where the peach comes from. Now we're going to shake this up.
Shake
we
it.
Vodka,
Okay.
We get our peach iced tea. Just shake it, Ashley. Shake it.
I'm like really getting directions from you.
You better get shaked. Like you don't know how to make a cocktail. Come on.
I'm kidding.
All right. Now it's nice and cold and delicious. We're going to pour that over some ice.
Do you like iced tea?
You know, I'm not a huge fan. I'm doing it tonight. What about you? As a kid, I think so.
I like iced tea. You know what? In Canada, all the iced tea is sweetened. You don't have to say like sweetened iced tea. Okay. I'm going to add my Trader Joe's sparkling lime.
As always. Okay. I'm adding Topo Chico to mine, as always. It just really elevates any cocktail, in my opinion. I did bring a spoon this time, so I can actually mix it.
Okay.
I haven't tasted this yet. This was a concoction that I have no idea what this is going to taste like.
I feel like my color mine's a little off, but anyway. Ooh, all right.
Mine's in a green glass. Okay. Cheers, Ash.
It's good. It's refreshing. The look on your face is hilarious.
Well, I don't know. I got the Lipton peach iced tea. It's a little sweet.
I got Pure Leaf. It's really good.
Oh, Pure Leaf's good. Yeah, I didn't go down that road.
Yeah, really, really good.
Right, put a little more Topo Chico in there. All right. Well, cheers.
That's great. Cheers.
Let's
Peach Fuzz.
To Peach Fuzz and Creep 2014.
All right. We are moving on to Sips and Synopsis. So, Allie, why don't you take it away and tell us about the plot of Creep?
Happy to, Ash. Before, as always, I'm going to have a little sip of my Peach Fuzz cocktail.
What's the thing? I think they should like sell it.
It's growing on me. Yeah, it's growing on me.
Really good. It's like a really good summer cocktail, everybody.
Mm-hmm. You heard it here first on Sips and Screams. We'll post the recipe on our page. So those of you,
it's really easy.
With us. Yeah.
Just get a cocktail shaker.
We're going back all the way to 2014 for this one. So a little over a decade.
Yeah.
And like you said, I think one of my favorite things about this movie, before I get into the synopsis, is its length. I like a solid, like little over an hour horror. Yeah. You know, give it to us like in a very condensed time frame. I love that.
It's the ultimate rewatchable. Because you're like, it's so quick. It has this like beats. It's fantastic.
And I'm going to say I've actually only seen this movie one time. I just recently watched it. I did not watch it in 2014. Just recently watched it.
Yeah, I watched it like late one night and had to rewatch it because I was forgetting some like key details. And you know what? It was delightful on second watch as well.
So Creep. So this one, it gets right into it right away. And we're introduced right away to our protagonist, Aaron. He's a videographer and he's answering a Craigslist ad for this man that wants to hire him for the day.
Here's the term Craigslist. Like, it's not really around as much anymore.
I know. Like, do people, like, listeners, are you familiar with Craigslist? Like, is it still a thing? Is it still active-ish?
I think it's still active. It's just always like, speaking of creepy, there's some like really weird stuff. Like you can do a deep dive on Craigslist. There's some like really weird stuff on there.
There's weird stuff. There's weird people on there. And one of those
surprised what people want to hire. What hire for?
Case in point, Joseph has hired Aaron to come spend the date with him. He's going to pay him $7,000.
Joseph.
Yeah, Joseph. So of course played by Mark Duplass of the League fame. He's great.
He is great. Wait, 700 or 1,000? I thought it was 1,000.
It's 7,000. What did I say?
It's 7,000? Oh, I thought it was 1,000.
No, he pays him $7,000.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I would do that.
Like, you're like, sign me up.
I thought it was 1,000.
If you knew the ending, Ash, would you still do it?
I don't know. Let's discuss that later. 7,000 for what that was?
Yeah, $7,000. So Aaron's driving out kind of the middle of nowhere, gets to this cabin in the woods, right? The chalet in the woods. It's this not really cabin. It's this huge house. Yeah. Gets there. There's no one there. Right. It appears empty. He goes up to the door and he's like, okay, yes, I'm gonna wait in my car.
No, those stairs going up to the cabin though were pretty elaborate.
Yeah, they were, but I mean, kind of iconic, right? There's a great scene later on in the movie that they use those stairs to the best of their ability. And I love that scene.
Oh yeah.
Aaron's in his car. He's waiting for this Joseph person, right, who doesn't appear to be there. And all of a sudden he just, again, there's a bunch of these throughout the movie. Joseph scaring Aaron. Jumps up. Yeah, jump scare at his
creep
window.
Factor begins like right away.
It does. Like, hair should be like standing up. You know what I mean? You should be getting that like tingly sense there. He's Joseph and they go inside the house and he learns the reason why he wants to tape. Joseph wants Aaron taping him is that he has terminal cancer and a wife and a baby on the way. Yeah. And he wants to document a day in his life, you know, and teach, I guess, his unborn baby some things, show him some things.
He's a big, he's just a really big fan of Michael Keaton in My Life.
Yeah, from My Life. Like,
movie. You've seen that movie, My Life?
Right.
That movie was like haunted me like as a child.
It's like, oh yeah. Same here. It's yeah. I don't even like thinking about that movie.
No, I know.
But you know, they get right into it. He pays him. Joseph pays Aaron right away to, I guess, get out of that awkwardness, gives him that money. And then it's time for, he tells him too, you know, they're going to get close throughout the day. There's going to be things that happen. And the very first one is, and they start right off. So the very first thing that Joseph has Aaron record is Joseph taking a bath. It's tubby time. It's tubby time. So they go up to that bathroom.
He's just like, all right, let's get in the tub. Like immediately.
Yeah. So he strips down. Joseph's in that tub. And he's taking a bath with his imaginary unborn son.
Yeah. Tubby.
Yeah.
He's like acting it out, like he's holding the baby.
It's quite disturbing. I gotta say, there's a lot of disturbing things in this movie. That's up there.
And he starts with that.
It starts with that exactly. Yeah,
Aaron must be like, what?
Yeah. So yeah, he's given his imaginary baby a little bath. Aaron's just recording that, and then after that, they're gonna go to. He suggests they go on a hike to this healing spring right in the woods. And again, Aaron's like, okay. You know, I guess he's along for the ride. He's there for the whole day. But before doing so, and this is when we're introduced to a very important, we call it a character in its own kind of right.
I would, yeah.
You know, he directs Aaron to get some warm clothes, to go to the closet. Yeah. And lo and behold, in that closet is this creepy ass wolf ass. Is it a wolf ass?
He's like, don't worry about it. Oh, that's Peach Fuzz. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about Peach Fuzz. Are we going to talk about the song?
Yeah. Why don't you sing? Can you share?
I don't know the lyrics. I don't know the song, but he's like, oh, that's Peach Fuzz. And then
Joseph my dad used to wear it. Yeah.
My dad used to wear it. He puts it on and he does this like weird impromptu songs like, I'm Peach Fuzz. I'm going to get you. Da, 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 da. And like, he's dancing around. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, what? Quite the performance. And then he ends. He's like, da, da, da. Like,
he's just weird. And like the entire time Aaron's just recording all of this, you know, and like, dear God, they need to like redo this movie and just show like Aaron's inner thoughts. Like we need to know like what he's thinking as he's recording this.
Yeah. Show the other side, like the look on his face.
Yeah. And there's a lot of, and yes, so this movie too, there's a lot of foreshadowing, right? There's a lot of things that happen. It's kind of a scene here and there, and it kind of comes back. This isn't the last time we're going to see Peach Fuzz. All right, Peach Fuzz is going to make a couple more appearances in this movie. And so they go on their hike. So they're out there in the woods. They've been traveling for a while, you know, they're kind of, and again, Joseph keeps like trying to scare Aaron. He keeps like jump scaring him. It's so weird. And so they go out, they finally do find the spring, and it's shaped like a heart. And they roll up their pants and they go in there, right?
They go in.
Two grown men just hanging out in the healing spring.
Yeah. It looked kind of nice. Like, what time of year was it? We don't really know.
I mean, it looks like it was cold. I mean, they had sweaters on. I'm going to say, Ash, like late fall. I mean,
it's like northern, like NorCal, like Northern California. Yeah. There was like a really funny line when they're like walking, because like, he's like, oh, do you know your way back? And he's like, no, I don't know. I don't know my way back. Right. Neither of them know. Joseph doesn't know either. Yeah. But then he basically tells him, he's like, you know, when you first came to the house and you saw, because when they first walked in, Aaron saw an axe. He's like at the very top of the stairs, saw an axe in the stump, and it's just sitting there like really creepy. And he kind of zooms in on it. He's like, when you first saw that axe, did you think I was going to kill you with it? Like I just point blank asked him that. He's like, a little bit. Like, imagine.
Who doesn't when they see an axe? Although, is that your first thought? Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe you're like, it's like a passing thought.
That would 100% be my first thought. Like all the movies we reviewed, all the horror movies I've seen, 100%. That's going to be it.
Yeah, we're maybe a little triggered by axes. It's a prominent weapon of choice in horror movies, I gotta say. But you know, Joseph suggests they go get some pancakes at a diner. So they do find their way out of those woods, I guess. So it just kind of cuts to the diner, and they're in there, and it's already, you know, Joseph has alluded to the pancakes being good at this diner, and he makes a comment there that he's like, oh, I wonder what's good here. And it's just interesting, right? I think things are starting to add up for Aaron that, you know, something might be wrong with this guy.
It's like, I thought you came here all the time with your family.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, pancakes. And he did, the pancakes did look good.
They did look good.
To his credit.
Like he's downing those pancakes. And you know, they're getting to know each other a little more. It's getting kind of intimate. He asks him if he've ever done anything that he was ashamed of. Oh, I heard the story about Aaron peeing his pants.
Was that like when he's like, sure, like anything? Sure. Oh, I'll take the camera. He immediately is like, I used to pee my pants. I used to pee my pants. My mom got this sensor thing that went down into my pants and would sense wetness, and it would beep an alarm. So here I am on the monkey bars, and I had to go. So I just fall to the ground and just like, you know, pee myself basically, and the alarm's going off, and he felt so much shame and guilt. Yeah. And Joseph's just like, oh, thanks for sharing, you know?
Yeah.
So weird. He really disarms him like right away.
He does. And I mean, it kind of works too. Honestly, I'm going to give Joseph credit for that because it does work. Right.
Would you admit to that? Like if you peed your pants on the playground? I would.
But you know what? If you're going to admit it to someone, maybe you do admit it to a complete stranger. Yeah. You know? It's like when you're at an airport, like people tell you lots of things at airports and when they know they're getting on a flight. No, when it's a complete stranger, I think you're willing to unload some maybe embarrassing moments of your life.
But this guy was calling him his like best friends. Like, oh, you have a really kind face. I love you, man. Like he said, I love you a few times.
Did.
He was just
a lot of hugs between them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Still, I feel like that's like a third date kind of like revelation.
Maybe not like when you've known someone for a couple of hours, but you know, it is
at least to pee my pants. You know?
A bit. My mom maybe wore a sensor. But this is, you know, Joseph. Now that Aaron has shared his embarrassing moment, Joseph shares that he took pictures he was home when Aaron first arrived. And Joseph was hiding and taking pictures of him. And like, when you see that again, like, this is
on the phone, that's so good.
Yes.
So he shows something to share with you.
Again, he's showing him many things that are alluding to like, this guy's just not okay. And Aaron stays, right? I mean, I guess he's got to earn his $7,000. I don't know.
He already has the money, which is interesting. Like he pays him right up front. Like the fact that he didn't just bolt is really interesting.
I know. So then, you know, they finish the diner. Now they're back at the cabin and it's nighttime now, right? So Aaron thinks the day is done. He's trying to leave. And I want to take some out. This is that iconic scene, right? And Joseph doesn't want him to leave. He invites him up for a drink. He wants him to come up and have a drink with him before leaving, right?
A whiskey.
Like one drink and then he can be on his way. Exactly. A whiskey. And there's that great scene like where Joseph is at the top of the steps and Aaron's at the bottom, and he's convincing him to stay. And it's also the poster for the movie, which is great too. So those of you who've seen it, that scene, he's at the top, it's dark, it's super creepy.
That's why I didn't know that Mark Duplass, like I didn't know what character he played. Yeah. Because like, they just have like that thing where he's under the light, like so creepy, so good.
And it's really only those two characters too, which I love as well.
So what time did they have pancakes then? Because now it's dark.
I don't know, Ash. I'm going to say
pancakes at like 4 p.m.
Yeah, I'd say it's like a late lunch, early dinner. Again, it's later, so it's it's not daylight savings time, so it's getting dark, maybe around 5.
They're about to wrap this up. He's like, I got to go down that hill.
And he convinces him to go in to have a drink. They have a whiskey. Aaron then's trying to leave, and he realizes that he doesn't have his keys.
But did you notice the first time when he gives him the whiskey and they cheers? Yeah. Joseph does not drink it.
I did notice that. So
he does not
when I saw that too, I immediately thought it was like poison or something, right?
Yeah. He doesn't drink it. But he drinks the next one, doesn't he?
Drinks the next one, yeah. But yeah, so Aaron can't find his keys, right? And he's kind of asking Joseph about that. And Joseph's convincing him, trying to tell him like, just to stay the night. You've had a drink. You're going to be over the limit anyway. Just stay the night here in like my cabin with me. And like eventually he agrees. But his plan, Aaron's plan is he found some Benadryl and he's drugging Joseph's drink. So we see him clearly pour something. We don't know at the time what it is, right? We see him pour something into Joseph's drink. He gives it to him. They both down their whiskey.
He's like, it tastes weird. Does it taste weird to you? It tastes weird to me.
Yeah.
No, that's fine.
He's like, but it,
he's like, it's a little weird.
I would imagine Benadryl has a certain taste to it.
Mm-hmm. Well, you ever like take a pill, like a Tylenol or something, and it's a bitter taste, bitter. Right? You would know what it was.
So like just that powdered in your drink would not taste great.
Yeah.
But there are more vulnerable moments.
I can't.
This is hard for me even to describe, but a very disturbing part of the movie. Joseph says he's going to like tell him something, right? And he asks Aaron to turn the camera off. And Aaron turns the video off, but he keeps the sound on. So that lets us see it, right? This whole movie is found footage. So if that weren't happening, we wouldn't be able to see this. So Aaron tells quite the story that, all right, I'm going to get through this.
Just
listeners,
get through it.
This is a tough one to tell. So he says that his wife, Angela, he was looking on the computer and he found these searches for bestiality pornography. And he knew that it wasn't his pornography.
Like, it's not my thing.
It must be his wife. So his wife, Angela, is into bestiality.
This is the origin story.
Of
our villains,
everybody. Yeah. So Joseph takes it upon himself to go out and buy this wolf mask, aka Peach Fuzz.
At the dollar store. He got that for $1. Which,
I mean, it's pretty good quality for $1. I'll give it that. Comes home to his house, ties his wife up and assaults her.
He breaks in.
Breaks in. And so she thinks that it's an intruder wearing this mask. And he claims that he assaults her, sexually assaults her. And claims that she enjoyed it, right? Because this bestiality thing, again, the most disturbing scene in many movies. That's so this weird. One. And all we're hearing is him speaking, right? There's no video. So it's just him speaking about this. And so he tells that story about his wife, Angela. I mean, and again, at this point, Aaron, right? Like I would just be like, out of there.
Get out of there. Get out of there.
Yeah, get out of there. But then it cuts. So, the Benadryl that Aaron put in Joseph's drink seems to be working. And Joseph goes to take a little nappy nap next to the fire. Right? It appears to be passed out.
He's even creepy in his sleep, though.
Yeah, he is. Like, the way he sleeps.
Touching himself. He's like, Peach Fuzz. He's talking about Peach Fuzz and like touching himself. I'm like, oh my God. Like,
but he's like pretending to be sleeping at that point, right? Like, I think
he knew. Yeah. I think he knew he was going to drug him too. It was really weird.
Yeah, I think so too. And so then, it looks like Joseph is passing out from the Benadryl and his phone rings and Aaron's able to get it from his pocket, goes into the bathroom and he hears that it's Angela, right? So at this point, Aaron thinks that Angela is Joseph's wife, and has their unborn, is, pregnant with their unborn child and he assaulted her. But we learned that Angela is not Joseph's wife. Angela's actually Joseph's sister.
Yeah.
And she tells him that Joseph's not well and that he should get out of there, like immediately. Upon hearing that, right, I would just be absolutely out of there.
Get out of there.
Yeah. So he goes back in the room and Joseph not passed out anymore. He's not there anymore. So yeah, obviously Aaron's freaked out at this point. He wants to leave. He doesn't have his keys. He's confronting Joseph about lying to him all day about everything, that Angela's his sister. And then Joseph just runs away from him. And the next thing we see, he's got the Peach Fuzz mask on. So Peach Fuzz back on, he's blocking the doorway and he's just gyrating in front of it.
Dancing, like arms out, like a flying squirrel, like up against the doorway.
And Aaron's just like, okay, and you're scaring me. Like,
he's
you win. Like,
he's so creepy.
Again, Marxiplast, like, Bravo, you committed.
He's a weirdo.
Yeah. Because at some point you're like, who's the creep? You know, and you're like, oh, no, it's very clearly Joseph.
Yeah.
And then it cuts from there. It's a really interesting way they do this cut too, right? Because the next thing we see is, and we, you know, it's found footage. You have to like keep that in your mind when you're like thinking about watching this movie. But the next thing we see is Joseph bringing garbage bags out and basically like digging graves. So you're like, wait, what happened? But then Aaron turns the camera on himself. And that's a tape that Joseph had sent him. So Aaron did make it out. They towed his car. He made it out alive. He's now at his house, but now Joseph is still not done with him. So Joseph is still sending him tapes, sending him weird, like stuffed animals, with a locket in it. So he's basically stalking him.
J and A, Joseph and Aaron. Forever. I
think they carved that out in the woods too. J and A forever or whatever with like the heart on it.
Yeah.
But yes, he's got this locket now. He's obviously freaked out because he knows that Joseph knows where he lives. He's clearly stalking him. He tries to talk to the police, but they can't do anything because Joseph isn't his real name. And the cabin they went to was not his real last name.
Like, no. But he's like, well, can't you come and take fingerprints on the locket? Like, can you please come? And they're like, we can't do anything to help you.
No. And so then there's a night scene, right? And Aaron's also having weird dreams at this point. He's dreaming of Peach Fuzz. I mean, clearly, like this is taken like a toll on him.
His dream is them in a hot tub. They both have masks on. Joseph has Peach Fuzz. He has a baby Peach Fuzz, and then he's just a baby, and they're drinking wine, and then Joseph pours the wine over his head like they're having a tubby.
Tubby.
So is tubby a thing? Like I've never heard of that. Having a tubby?
I'm not sure. Parents, is it? So, you know, it's nighttime. He wakes up, someone's at the house, right? He wakes up, he gets the camera, he goes out. And this is great too. He's looking around the house and, you know, we see like clearly Joseph is there, you know, we see him in the doorway. He had emptied the trash bins. He's upset that Aaron threw away the locket. And then we even see him. I'm curious how they filmed this. Did he leave the camera on him all night? Because we actually see Joseph.
It was on a tripod and he comes in and takes it off.
Okay. Oh, he does. Okay. Because, you know, Aaron tries to go back to sleep and we see Joseph gets into the house and actually cuts a piece of Aaron's hair. So he's taking a little keepsake home with him.
And he also takes the camera off the tripod and like goes down his like body, films his like legs.
Oh yeah.
Like very voyeurism.
Can you imagine like watching that the next day? Like Aaron, watching that. Like I'd be so freaked out.
Oh, you're right. They didn't really discuss that, but he would have seen it.
I don't know if he did watch it though. Because he
took a piece of your hair, dude.
He took some of your hair. Like, man, you could take that to the police, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and then, but that's not it. So the next morning he wakes up and there's the last CD, the last tape. And he pops that in and it's basically Joseph apologizing, you know, saying he wants to apologize in person. He's sorry for everything. Asking him to meet him at this lake in a public place, you know, and Aaron agrees to go. Again, he feels bad for him, I guess. I think after everything that Joseph has done, he clearly he knows that there's something wrong with him. Right. And so he goes to the lake.
He's a bleeding heart.
He really is. So Aaron goes to the lake to meet up with Joseph and he sets up the camera. So he's recording it. He
beautiful
says
lake
to the camera. Yeah.
I just need to say,
yeah, you're going to go. It's a place to do it. He sets the camera up so we can see this all happening. Right. And he speaks to the camera, right, that he has his phone like ready to dial 911, you know, if Joseph does anything. So he sits on a bench, you know, he's just very serene. He's just watching the water. And he doesn't hear Joseph coming up behind him. So we see Joseph in a trench coat coming up behind him slowly. You know, you want to reach out and tell Aaron that like Joseph's behind you.
Turn
doesn't
around.
Hear him clearly. Yeah. Joseph first puts on that the Peach Fuzz mask. So Joseph puts the Peach Fuzz mask, and then he takes the axe out of his jacket. And
how was that fitting in there? Where was it? Like in the back of his jacket?
I'm not sure, Ash. How was it in there? I don't know, but it is concealed. He has the mask on. He takes the axe out, and then he just plummets that axe into Aaron's head.
Yeah.
And
immediately dead.
Meets his demise very quickly. Yeah.
Cheers to Aaron.
Beautiful scenery, but Aaron meets his demise because of Joseph.
And the movie's not over.
It's not over. And I think this is an interesting part too, right? Because what you see, so now it jumps to like, obviously what we're watching is a found footage thing, right? So Joseph's been watching this, right? So that's what this is. And you see like Joseph watching it. And even then there's like a jump scare because Joseph goes back to the camera, that's recording at the card. So like, that's great.
To scare himself. He does that to scare himself.
Like later. Yeah. So when he watches it later, there's a jump scare and he scares himself. But we learn, that like Joseph was probably a little more calculated than he seemed, right? A little more calculated, planned a lot of this. Aaron seemed to be his favorite kill, and not his only. So he takes that tape, put it away, and there's a lot of those tapes. So Creep has been creeping for a while and looks like he's going to be continuing. He's on the phone with the next victim, wants someone else to come out and record him. So that's how it ends. And that is Creep.
Cheers. So Creep, I think it's one of my favorite songs by Radiohead, right? Yeah. It's a great, but like, it's also really good.
Ash does a fantastic rendition of this. Like maybe we can find a recording and put it on our social.
Play a little bit of Creep. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I'll try to dig one out.
We have to have a video somewhere.
Yeah. So initially it was called Peach Fuzz, the movie. That was the original name of it.
Okay.
And that's the villain. To be honest, the first time I watched it, I didn't even remember. I kept seeing Peach Fuzz. I'm like, oh, that was the name of I watched it really late one night.
How could you not remember Peach Fuzz?
No, the reason they changed it to Creep is because originally it was Peach Fuzz and they were like, we don't want the audience to be like distracted and thinking like, why is it called Peach Fuzz from the beginning? They won't be paying attention. Yeah. And Creep is so much better. It's way better.
It's such a good name.
Yeah.
And I do really think when you're watching it, obviously you find out that the creep is him, but at the beginning I didn't know. I'm like, no, wait, who's the creep? Like, because you don't know Joseph's intentions. You don't know that he's, has done this many times. And so, they're both, I really like the way that they set that up.
But they're both creepy. I'm like, why? Like you have this ad. Why are you going out there? You know what I mean? Is this your kink too? And
he needs the money. That's $7,000 again. Right?
But they have really intense conversations, a lot of eye contact, a lot of hugging and stuff right away.
Physical touch. Yeah.
So I guess originally it was filmed over a found footage thing. It was filmed over 18 months. So I guess they were constantly 18 months. They were constantly doing
improv too, right?
It was improv. They filmed 10 to 12 versions of every scene. So this is good. So they were constantly there was tons of iterations. They were constantly showing their friends the evolving footage. And people kept saying no, make it darker. That was they were oh, make it darker. So they kept making it darker and kept making it weirder and more creepy. And I guess so the Duplass brothers, they have a production company, everything like that. And Mark Duplass has done tons of stuff. I guess how he met Bryce was Bryce's wife was the nanny for his kids or something. And they hit it off and were filmmakers and talking about it. And then they wrote the screenplay for this movie. And I'm not going to get into it. I don't want to spoil it or anything like that, but there is a Creep 2, which has a female protagonist. And then there's not a Creep 3. Everyone's kind of waiting on it. Creep Tapes.
Yeah. Is that a prequel, Ash? No. I haven't even seen Creep 2 actually. Full transparency, watching Creep the first time. I just watched it last weekend for the first time. Yeah. And I can't believe I missed it the first time around because
I know. Yeah. Same. I don't even know where was I? How did I not watch this movie?
I'm not sure. So
the Creep Tapes is exactly what it is. It's the tapes of the previous killings. But it's a TV show on AMC and I'm literally going to go watch it. I'm very excited to watch it. But yeah, so it's for found footage, 1 hour and 17 minutes. It took forever for them to film. They did it with a lot of care, writing the screenplay and filming it.
And it premiered at South by Southwest first, right? Before it was distributed. And I think it went, I don't even know if it was in the theaters. I think that's the thing. I think that's why a lot of people didn't see it the first time around. Yeah. Didn't it go right to Netflix or something?
I think it did. Yeah. Cause I found it. It was on a recommendation list of the top horror movies. And I'm like, excuse me, how do I not know about this movie? I didn't even know about it.
I know.
So I'm sure a lot of listeners don't either.
Yeah. I know. And we'll post this when we share the episode. But yeah, I'd love to hear listeners, let us know what your thoughts are. Did you see it in 2014?
Yeah.
Or are you just seeing it now because of the creep tapes and everything?
2025, discovering it for the first time.
Yeah.
Okay, it is time for Screamometer. All right. I have to let you go first. Allie, what's your rating on this one?
I know.
I got a good feeling about this.
Yeah. Yeah. This one. Okay. And I feel like I've been giving some low ones lately.
You have. You've been very uber critical.
I've been critical of the scares. This one's going to change all of that.
Oh my goodness.
Changes everything for me. I did not see this movie in 2014. Just watched it this past weekend. Absolutely loved it for a horror movie. I think, well, we've shared this before. We really like found footage. Yeah. I think it's very scary. I like when it's like it's a real antagonist as well. But I'm giving this one on the Screamometer an 8 out of 10. I loved it. It sticks with you. It's creepy. I had a really hard time sleeping. And I'll share some of that. But 8 out of 10 definitely works for me. I'm very excited to watch the sequel.
Yeah. 8 out of 10. Same thing.
Yes.
So many nightmares. And I watched it for the first time just a couple weeks ago, like late at night. I had to rewatch it.
And you made me watch it. And then I was like, I could not sleep.
Yeah. I watched it at like 11 p.m. on like a Friday night. Yeah. I had some drinks, so I feel like I needed to rewatch it because I didn't remember like all of it, to be honest. But it was very creepy. Yeah. I didn't sleep that well that night. No. And I loved it. Like it's so weird, but like I found it delightful. Like I thought,
me too. I did too, and it starts right away. It's delightful. Yes,
he's so creepy. His eyes, like the way he interacts, his creepy smile, like everything about him is fantastic. And the other guy, the clean shaven, like it's just it's so good. 8 out of 10. This is a great one. Everyone should go watch it.
I mean, we also cheers to that, Ash. Also, we're aligned. And we're aligned. Doesn't happen all the time.
When was the last time we aligned on our?
I don't know.
I know you haven't seen it. I won't spoil it. Creep 2, honestly, just as good, if not better, like amazing. And then I'm going to watch the Creep tapes and give a review on that as well. All right. It is time for Sip and Tell, where we discuss our personal experiences related to the content of Creep. Well, besides my love of Radiohead, right? My love of that Radiohead song, literally one of my most favorite songs of all time. I do have a little sip and tell. So it's about those masks, right? It's about the Peach Fuzz mask.
If we have the exact same one, this is going to be great because I have something written down about the Peach Fuzz mask. So
that mask. Okay, that mask. I mean, there's no way he got it at the dollar store. Like that was like a pretty elaborate mask. Yeah. And the heat that would pack when you put that on, you know what I mean? Halloween, we grew up, as everybody knows, if you listen to the podcast, in a very small town. We can tell it together. In a very small town. And like going out for Halloween was something everyone did. You go to people's houses.
Everybody.
And dress up, but you would wear like those masks. Everyone had those like creepy masks on. And our cousins, aunts, and uncles, like across this she had like that exact
Aunt Gail. I swear, Ash, I have that written down. This is really it evoked childhood memories of me, of our aunt
who was the most lovely, like warm, lovely person. But I remember they came over one time. I mean, I remember wearing that mask in their house. Like, I remember like putting that. I have a visceral feeling. It was kind of like an like an elf mask, like putting it on. And it was so hot, like so warm. And I remember her wearing it like for Halloween one time. Yeah, just wearing it. Yeah.
Like same. That is actually what I had written down for Sip and Tell as well, because that's all I could think of. Yeah. We didn't call it Peach Fuzz. I'm not sure it had a real name, but
it's like the wolf or something.
All right. I love that we both have the same Sip and Tell. One other one I have, and it's going to have more of a positive ending. Craigslist, Yeah. I think, I've used it quite a bit back in the day. I was using it to find roommates, but I got to say mine had a, similar story, very different ending, right? I found some of my best friends on Craigslist. They were for an apartment in Boston, and they became some of my best friends. So you know what? Craigslist doesn't always have to result in getting an axe to the head by a maniac by the lake.
Yeah, I think it's like where you go, like the community Craigslist can be a little creepy. And like the services
back in the day, maybe has it gotten worse?
There's some weird, like if you go to like the for rent things, like apartment things, people are always posting really weird things.
I haven't been on Craigslist in probably a decade. Like I can't say I've been on it. It still exists.
But now it's kind of like they have like Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that for selling. Right. But no, Craigslist is still a thing. I mean, because you can be like anonymous. I think that's the the appeal of it, right?
Yeah.
You can route your email somewhere else. But yeah, it's still a thing. In Canada, there's like Kijiji.
Oh yeah.
Like, Kijiji. Right. Kijiji is right. It's like the Canadian version of Craigslist. But yeah, be careful out there, everybody. Be careful on Craigslist. Careful.
Yeah.
Don't go to a secluded remote cabin, even if it's seven grand. All right. It's time for sips and scares. What were the scariest parts of this movie? And we both gave it an 8. I think there were quite a few.
Yeah. I mean, Tubby time. Tubby's up there as one of the most disturbing parts.
It's disturbing. It's not so much scary, but you're like, what the hell?
But that sticks with you. Yeah. Yeah. For me, the best, there are a few, and I love that and they're, kind of sprinkled throughout, and there's some comedy in this movie as well.
Yeah. It's hilarious.
Yeah, which I love. For me, best scare in the movie is at night when Aaron gets up and is looking around and because he hears something and he's looking around, and then all of a sudden you just see Joseph in the doorway, and it's very inconspicuous. He's just standing in the doorway, and you see that, and you like obviously jump, and then he just like runs, he ducks and like runs away. But that scene, I love that scene. Very scary, very spooky. Stuck with me. Best scare of the movie.
Yeah, I think that's either the best scare at the top, like tied with another one. But I thought that was so good because it's like a screen door and you're like looking at it and he's just there and then he's gone. It's like a split moment. And he's gone. Yeah. Yeah. I honestly thought the best like scare for me, the most unnerving for me was the poster, like the poster of the movie when he's at the top of the stairs.
Okay. Yeah.
And he just stared. I was like, totally. Joseph's up the top of the stairs asking him to come in for a whiskey. He's like, no, I think I'm going to go. I was like, I was going to pour you a whiskey. And he's just up there. There's like the single solitary light shining on his head. He's looking down very ominously. The way it's framed is perfection.
Yeah, it is.
And they stay on that for a while. And you're like, oh my goodness, like this is so good. I like loved that one. I thought that we talked about the pictures in the diner, but it's just like so creepy. He's showing him on his phone, like scrolling through, like, sorry, I took these pictures of you. Like I'd be out of there. Like, dude, he's stalking you. I thought all the little jump scares when Joseph comes up at the beginning, like, hey.
The jump scares were good. Yeah.
You have a really kind
face. And then one at the end too, right? That jump scare at the end because he came up to the camera to scare himself later. That was amazing as well.
Mm-hmm. I thought the phone call from Angela, did he call Angela or did Angela call him?
Angela called him.
Yeah, called him.
Angela called Joseph and the phone was ringing and that's when he took it up.
Just like the phone call in the middle of the night. It was just, you're like,
that's always so scary. But yes.
I have a bone to pick with that. Like Angela just tells him, she doesn't give him any backstory. Does she know that he's a serial killer?
Well, I want to talk about Angela in a bit.
Okay. Because I'm like, she doesn't tell him.
She says he's disturbed, right? That he's like he's not okay.
Get out of there. But I'm like, are you complicit in this? Like, why don't you give him the whole story?
Details. I want more details. I'm like, why? Why, Angela? Why do I need to get out of here?
Yeah. Is he going to kill me? He's going to kill you. Get the hell out. You know,
a little warning might have been nice, Angela.
Yeah, would have been nice. And I think another just like scary, disturbing thing. I mean, he clearly has. I mean, he doesn't. He's portraying himself as someone I think with like borderline personality disorder, like really into his, friend, like really like elevating that friendship and like stalking him and doing all of that
physical touch,
and saying like
too,
like I love you,
and
like,
a lot,
He's like, at one point, he's like, death is coming. There's nothing we can do. Like, he just like all these, like, I don't know, really, really intense things that he's putting on Aaron and kind of preying on that, right? Like preying on, he's clearly a victim.
But that's the thing. I think like when you know the ending, I think all of that was just a ruse.
A ruse.
Right?
Yeah,
it was all a ruse. Like, because he in that last scene when he's putting the tape away, he acts very different.
He does. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. But I think he's also like seeing how much they'll take. Like he gets a kick out of that. Right. Like he chooses people.
He's playing with them. He's toying with them. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's why, again, I'm not spoiling it or anything, but go watch Creep 2 is totally different.
Maybe I'll watch it tonight, Ash, and then destroy my sleep tonight.
Yeah. It's so good. Creep 2, it's the female protagonist, very different. They have a different interaction. It's like really good.
But he's in it, right?
He's in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He just looks, he has like a beard now. He looks different, but it's the same type of thing. But it goes up a level. It's really, really good. All right. We're moving on to cliches and ripoffs. So I don't know about you, but there are tons.
Yes.
And you got to think about the year 2014, right? But this ripped off a lot. I think it just ripped off a lot. It was like inspired by a lot of other.
It's inspired by a lot. I mean, the number one is Blair Witch Project, right?
Yeah, Blair Witch.
In the Woods, everything about it. Blair Witch, Paranormal Activity, both of those. But this was the era of found footage films. I think there was a lot of them coming out at the time, and like we can say rip off, but I do think it's more was inspired by.
Definitely. I mean, it's like Paranormal Activity almost, like with the two characters and everything too.
It is. Yeah. It is similar. Yeah.
But this is like quick. Like you can watch, like it's hour and whatever. Like it's just very fast. I mean, in terms of the story, it's like, I mean, he was a serial killer, but it's very much like Misery, Fatal Attraction, like those types of things.
Yes. Yeah.
Camp Crystal Lake for me. I mean, that was a beautiful, serene lake. Yeah. He has the axe. Yeah. He has the mask.
Okay. Yeah. That's
a little more furry.
Yes, that last scene.
Right. Yeah. It's not like Jason, but like he's trying, you know? I have a really good one. And I don't know, a lot of people have not seen this movie. I don't know if we're going to do it on the podcast. It's kind of weird. It's kind of hard one to review because it's like nothing happens basically. Some of the architecture, like angles and stuff that they did with some of the filming, it's Skinamarink, Al. Skinamarink.
We've talked about Skinamarink before on the podcast. I think, I don't know how
I introduced Allie to Skinamarink, and like everyone was really mad at me. Really, it like almost ruined Christmas. Because they're like, this is not it. And then
my current husband gave up.
He went to bed
20 minutes in, I stayed to the bitter end with my sister, and we
got to watch that till the end.
I couldn't sleep after that one.
No, that's a movie that like stays with you. You just got to watch it to the end. You're like, what am I watching? It's literally like, like filming the ceiling, filming like the corner of a doorway, right? So it reminded me of Skinamarink a little bit. So I think Skinamarink ripped off Creep.
Yeah, I think a little bit. Especially the scene where he's telling about sexually assaulting his wife. I'd say that was very Skinamarink-y.
What?
The angle of the camera?
Oh, sorry, the angle. I was like, what? That doesn't happen, Skinamarink.
That doesn't happen. Sorry, there's no assaulting Skinamarink, but the angle of the camera and all.
The angle of the camera. Yeah, for sure.
I have another one too, Ash. And, we've already talked about the iconic scene, the poster, him standing at the top. I wonder if this was, I have to think that it was. I think when he's up there and it's just the spotlight, the light on him, and he's just, can't see his face and he's speaking. Mm-hmm. It evoked, to me, it was very much like When a Stranger Calls Back.
Oh, yeah.
Right. With the guy outside and like when
that's
she looks at the
window, she sees him.
It was so similar. And just the voice and everything, it really reminded me of it.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think like in terms of cliches, like when he calls the police not believing him.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like all of that.
They never do.
No, they never do. Also Sinister, right? Sinister with when they take the thing off the tripod, he takes the camera off the tripod and he's like filming them while they're sleeping. Yeah. It's like very Sinister.
Oh yeah.
Sinister was like totally the
I forgot that part. Like
person coming in.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll have to do Sinister. That's a
we will. Maybe Sinister's next. Yes, I love that movie.
That is such a good movie. And then one more for me, and we just did this one a few episodes ago. Barbarian. The fact it was the same type of thing when they like trust the person they go into the house. I'm like, you don't have to go in. You could leave.
No, you don't have to go have another drink. Like you don't have to go do that. Yeah.
Just so trusting. It's like, I don't know. I just like, would you go up there? I'm like, I would be out of there so fast.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't do the set. I wouldn't go film them. I think the second he's like tubby, he's taking a tubby. I think that would be my exit. I'm not. We should discuss this. How much would you endure of that?
How much would I endure?
Would it be Tubby? Would Tubby be it?
I'm like, I'm out after Tubby.
The hike. Yeah.
I would not go on the hike. And he didn't know where he was going. So I think, Tubby was probably it. When he puts the towel over his head, I'd be like out of there. I'm like, okay, he can't see me. I'd be gone. I sure as hell am not going in for the whiskey with that creep. I'm like, no, that's not happening. Listeners, what's your stop point? Where would you get out of there?
Would you leave?
Maybe like as soon as he gives you the 7K, you're like, all right, see you later.
Maybe when he wasn't home, and you were waiting for him. I don't know.
The fact that he killed him during the broad daylight too. I mean, I have a bone to pick with that because people were driving by.
Oh, do you?
Well, so because the day you feel like really safe and stuff, and at night it's like really creepy, especially with the Peach Fuzz mask and him gyrating and dancing around. Right. Like, okay. But he kills him in like broad daylight and tells him like, oh, there'll be a public place, all of that. I'm like, no, he got an axe to the head.
Yeah. He got
a very violent kill.
Yeah. It was violent and kind of realistic too. You can't hear anything, right? All we're seeing is the video, just axe to the head, slumped over, done.
And we should say the video too is like really far away.
Yeah, it is. I actually loved how they did that because you can see it coming, right? It's going to happen. You see him coming up on him. I don't know how we didn't hear.
Yeah.
But even Joseph himself questions why Aaron didn't turn around. I think he would have been dead either way though, because even if he did turn around, Joseph had the axe, right? So, and Aaron didn't have a weapon.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he could have called the police and he'd still be dead. So, okay, it's time for alternate endings.
Yeah. I've been
Drum
waiting
roll,
all
please.
episode for this. I'm so excited because I know there are some.
Everybody, we have alternate endings. Finally, it's been a few episodes.
A while.
Yes, we have some. And these are the ones that I could dig up on like YouTube and on the internet, but there's at least two. There's two that I know of, and I'll describe them. And one of them is so crazy. Well, I'll save that one, actually, the crazy one.
Oh, okay. I just got like chills. I just got chills, everybody. I can't wait for this.
It's so crazy. Okay. So there's one that's like just a little variation. So it's the same as the original, except this time like Joseph does like look behind him and he looks back. And he has his phone like set to call the police. And then Joseph comes up behind him, puts the mask on, he grabs the axe, lifts it up over his head, but doesn't hit him over the head with it. He like touches him on the shoulder and then it just ends. That's it. There's no like
it's gonna happen, but like they don't
I think it's like left to be ambiguous. Is he just trying to like scare him again? You know what I mean? So it just ends and they don't have that and it goes straight to the credits. There's no like thing where he's a serial killer. So that's one. You can find this on YouTube. It's on the DVD. Here's the other one. This is so crazy. For me, it's like so crazy. You can watch it. I call this the happy ending, the happy one.
Okay.
So it's the same thing. But this time Aaron goes and he sits on the bench with Joseph. Like Joseph is there. He's like, oh, there he is. Okay. And he goes over and sits on the bench with Joseph and they just kind of start talking and like looking out over at the lake. They're like pointing and stuff. And then happy music starts playing and they're just chatting. He's just like a weird, sad, lonely guy sitting on the bench and that ends. So that was like the very benign. They're like, oh, he's not a killer. He's just like a sad, lonely guy.
Really?
That's,
oh my God.
Yeah, that was one of the other endings. Like, so like they wouldn't have had a franchise. Like
that's crazy. Yeah. Cause they took it. So he was just, so that was everything that happened that day was real. And like, he was actually doing that. But in that one, is Angela still his sister or his wife?
No, I think in this one, it's still the sister. It wasn't like real. Okay. He's just a creep. No, he's like a creepy, lonely guy. He did this because he's like a lonely, because that's the other interpretation. Before you find out he's a serial killer, you're like, he's just a weirdo. But it's the music, Al. It's like a romantic comedy or something at the end. It's like two guys sitting on a park bench looking at up at the lake. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. I like the ending we got. Because I got to say, I love the ending. I think you get closure on it. Like poor Aaron, but I love that ending. I like that he's a serial killer.
Yeah, well, set it up. I mean, now it is. They have the second one. They had the tapes.
Yeah.
And again, they showed it to their friends, and they were like, "Make it darker."
Yeah.
Right. But they film like
hold my beer, like
hold my beer.
Peach Fuzz mask on and get the axe out and hit him over the head with it.
Yeah. And the happy ending one, like, there's no Peach Fuzz mask. He's just sitting on the bench, and he goes and sits with them, and they like just hang out. So yeah, very, very, very different. It would have been a very different movie if that would
be let down a little bit because you'd be wanting something to happen if you were watching that one.
Yeah, like you invested all your time. You're like, what did I just watch?
Something. You got to like give us the climax. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, it's time for the villain. I don't know if there's controversy here. Like, who is the villain?
There is, in my mind, one and only villain. I mean, obviously you've got the creep, but Angela. Angela's the villain of this movie. Oh. She had the opportunity to warn Aaron more explicitly and say, like, my brother's a serial killer. Like, get the hell out of there. Yeah. And she didn't. You know, she was very vague about it. So Angela, definitely the villain in this movie for me.
So is Angela? That's a really interesting take. So is Angela? She's complicit. You think she knows about the murders and she's protecting her brother?
Yeah, she at least knows like he's unwell, right? And I think, yeah, I do think she knows about the murders. I do. Or at the very least could have been more like he could harm you. You know, she could have been more explicit about that.
Yeah. I mean, okay, again, that's interesting. I still think, I mean, it's like blaming the other people instead of the person that's actually doing it, you know, and he wasn't like someone with like mental health issues. He was like a serial killer. I mean, he probably did have them, but he just was like a psychopath. Like he really liked,
toying with
killing clearly
for a day.
And you haven't watched the second one. So they unpack more of his backstory in the second one. So you find out a little bit more about that. Okay. So definitely you kind of got to watch both.
The second one. And Angela's, we only hear her voice, right? But again, I think she could have done more, Ash. I do. Who's the villain for you?
You know who the villain is for me? I mean, Peach Fuzz, sure. But the real villain is Craigslist. right? You're just up there letting people post whatever.
I can buy
There's
that.
no like oversight. There's no oversight of this. You're just allowed to post these things, you know, and like, and then they die.
Accountability.
No accountability.
But how many people do you think like you posted that and they go over to their house and then people are murdered? Like then Craigslist may be responsible for a lot of deaths.
Yeah, Craigslist, I think, and
for friendships, death, everything. Death, friendships. I've had a better experience with Craigslist, but I guaranteed it's responsible for deaths as well.
And this dude must have had a lot of burner phones because he put his number on there, right? He called him like he had a lot of burner phones because they would be able to trace that back. Actually, you know what? That was a missed opportunity. He did have his phone because they're like, who's this guy? Like he could have showed them the Craigslist ad. Couldn't they sleuth that and find out the email, like the IP address?
That's a good point.
I'm just thinking of this now. I'm like, he had his phone. Couldn't they figure that out? It's 2014. It's not like the dark ages. You know?
They had iPhones. Yeah.
All right, we're moving on to Sips and Simmering questions. This one comes to us from Timmy Rupert on Instagram. And the question is, who's the bigger creep, Ash or Allie? Let's go at it.
Who's the bigger creep? Question. Yeah, thanks to me, Rupert. And we're answering this like, are we saying creep as in like him, like Mark Duplass' character in that movie? I mean, let's
go with the Radiohead lyrics. A creep, a weirdo. I don't belong here. You know,
I don't think either one of us are, Ash. Like, I'm not going to say you are. I'm not going to admit that I am. So this is a weird one to answer. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's definitely a weird one to answer. I wouldn't say you. I think if it's anybody, it's me. I'm going to go with me.
You're the musician.
I am like
maybe that makes you weirder,
like more emo or something. I don't know. You know, I'll take it. I'm not emo. I don't know. It's like creep. I'm not. That is like the farthest from the truth. Well, it's definitely not you. So I'm like, if it has to be one of us.
All right, I'm good with that.
I'll be the creepy one.
Not me.
I have like the darker hair. Like
if someone was going to be a serial killer, it would be Ash, not me. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. Like if you were like to look at both of us, like probably me, like a little darker. I don't know. Like dress us up.
Have you ever posted an ad on Craigslist? Let me ask you that.
I have posted ads on Craigslist like back in the day for like selling. One. No, when I was like moving and like selling stuff, I've definitely posted things.
Then you are.
Yeah, maybe I'm the creepy one.
You're closer to the creep than I am. I don't think I ever have.
Thanks for that question. You know, a great thought experiment, but I'm not going to throw you under the bus, Al. So I'll take it. That's fine.
Thanks, Ash.
Well, that's going to do it for Sips and Screams episode 17, Creep. Thank you so much for joining and listening today. Join us next time as we sip on more themed cocktails and discuss the good, the bad, and the truly terrifying of our favorite horror movies. Cheers.
Cheers.